Beautiful. The new Cities of Sigmar are here. Thank you, Games Workshop. I appreciate you sending me this review copy so I can put my own little twist on things. So, what we have here, and where it all begins, is with the old fistful of paint. You've seen it 1,000 times before. But what you don't know is that this project, this color scheme, is inspired by the Green Bay Packers. All of them, but Aaron Rodgers. Have fun on the Jets. It's also inspired by Game of Thrones. Despite my outward appearance, you may be surprised as well to learn that I can read. And I just love all the kind of offhand descriptions of heraldry and iconography that you experience while reading through those books. So I've been kind of dreaming of the Game of Thrones sort of universe, and I don't know, I just picked this green and gold approach just for grins. So let's get into it. Slap down some base coats. For this video, the colors will be seen but not named. I'd want you to be thinking of your own scheme inspired by this approach. Take a look at my palette. You can see the various tones, each one a root to pull up to a yellow ivory from. We'll speed past this part. You can see the action, just some general color blocking, just bang it all out, and then following your base coats, this is your universal desaturated highlight. Rise up, chromatic warriors! I'm trying not to blend, and look, it's happening anyways. As I run out of paint, it becomes a controllable amount. Try not to blend. Can you handle that? Okay, add some freehand. Just a bunch of neat lines. That old story. For real though, it's not the feature of this video, but adding to the Wisconsin look, I thought the antlers were a good fit. And as I painted and daydreamed on, a little bit of squiggle touch in the corner of his cloak. In hindsight, I wish I would have painted the inside of the cloak in a lighter cream tone. Part of it is folded over his shoulder. People are going to ask, where's the rest of the freehand? Part of the cloak is inside out, but that it already had things done. It gave me, it would have looked nice, so maybe next time we'll just say that. Alright, now this is the fun part. This is the reason that I created this video. With everything set up, based in a mid-tone and highlighted, it's time for the unifying shadow. Go nice and gentle and enjoy the show. I'll be spraying upwards with just a deep olive brown tone. Multiple thin layers at that right angle will bring it all together. I went a little heavier on the dilution because I saved a lot of time by just throwing base coats down in the unifying shadow. It's a very quick and pleasing way to paint, so don't rush this step because this is the most important one. If you get the speckling from the airbrush, from not having things thinned down or having a high enough pressure, that's a no-go for me. So just be very careful with this stage. Following that, I mixed up a custom wash. I took some dark wood from the speed paint line and a bit of black. I mixed them together, thinned them down, and washed over the entire model except for the cloaks. It's a broad, flat surface. A wash is not going to do so well on those surfaces, but yeah, another very important step. I want to create that very unified, monochromatic, desaturated, grim Game of Dark Thrones look. In addition, the part that I forgot to write on my script, I am also adding the highlights back into play after the wash. So just bringing that bright ivory or possibly the lighter tone that you left off on before the wash. It's up to you to decide what is the appropriate brightness, but just bringing everything up another stage after it's been settled down. You can see just the small amounts of light produce a nice deep contrast. But with everything dry on my guy, it's time to attend to some of the metals. I brought some turquoise into play to add a slight touch of that patina. He's near the water after all. And also capping off all of the metallic surfaces with a touch of the brightest silver that I had. very faint, just tiny, measured amounts, just picking up all the little nicks and scratches. A little bit goes a long way, especially when you're going for such a dark look. And what is grim dark without a little bit of a skid mark? I'm adding more steps, but a few tasteful streaks will do the shield some good. Just drawing nice vertical lines downward as a mixture of brown and black together. Next, it was down to the water feature. I wanted to say a lot with a little. I didn't go very hard on the base, but I like the idea of the model looking out over the ocean as the ships come in. Or maybe it's just a lake that he's staring across, or he's just gotten fully dressed to stand by the pond and maybe stomp on some of those mud lilies that bother him so much. You decide. Taking a green, brown, cloudy blue, and black, I wet blended them on the surface, adding more blue and black as I extend away from the shore. It's a very easy look to pull off. I would recommend just wet blending a little bit on your palette first, just kind of test your transition of colors, especially if you're going to be combining 3 of them together at once on the surface. Just give it a little try, but you can see it's very simple. And then following that, just laying a nice thick layer of a gloss varnish that'll give me the impression of constant liquid, and he's all set. I'm very happy with this model. You can see on the table I still have to paint the little squire attendant, but you'll see him finished in the footage that I'm throwing up right now. Again, this was a really fun way to work. I put a lot of emphasis on choosing exactly the right tone for my base coats, and seeing that immediate harmony and having the whole model colored in, and then just the joy of universally shading it together. It just feels good, and I think this is an efficient way to paint an army and do it well. I could see an entire Cities of Sigmar force done this way. And it certainly has a very pleasing and stylish look to it. It lends itself very well to batch painting. I think the more models that I add into this, the more time I would save because of the larger steps that I'm taking. But anyways, fun. So thank you for checking this video out. If you're watching it on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And also, please check out my Patreon. I want to give a big thank you to everyone who is supporting me there. I can't do this without you. I need you. So I am just always blown away and very grateful. Until we meet again, my friend, remain unchained.